we're going to figure out what kind of train wreck this is going to be. Damn.
Yeah.
There's only one thing I like more than that.
What? What is that?
That's getting hammered during war.
That's war hammered.
Oh, right.
That's Warhammer. That's what we're doing currently.
That's exactly
That's
what
us.
This is. This is Warhammered, brought to you by Second Pitch Beer Company from the BattlePub studios.
Deep beneath.
Deep beneath.
Since Big Jim is sorrowfully not here, I have to say deep in that bowels.
Deep beneath in an undisclosed bunker somewhere in San Antonio. It might or might not be really close to BattlePub games.
Yeah. Or right next to it, or in it. No, either one.
I'm Jazz. That's Jim. And normally there's another Jim.
Big Jim. Yeah, we can still call me Beer Jim. Just keep continuity, though.
Yeah. We don't want to confuse people.
No.
Because we haven't confused them yet. So
yeah, we haven't just talked about a name like a lore, like it was like actual history. When you realize that it was actually made up by like 4.5 guys in a basement 40 years ago.
Do you have any idea what kind of drugs were being taken in that room, though?
God,
it had to just be.
It just had to been. It was an Encyclopedia Britannica and a shitload of mushrooms.
Right.
That's all that they did.
I have the personal diary of Caesar and all of this LSD.
Let's make it.
Let's make a game.
Let's get this game going. And we're called Ultramarines.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
How you been?
I've been good.
Yeah?
I've been good. Yeah. Yeah.
Been good.
Yeah. It's been really good. Just brewery's good. Just canned up like 100 and something cases of beer today. So I'm smelling like IPA. And then I sent you videos of us shotgunning said beer.
I like how in just middle of the day it was just like,
just 12:30.
This is it. Let's just hammer this down real quick.
Yeah, let's just get this done. And then
I'm still disappointed in that one dude's performance. I'll call him out. I don't give a shit. It's not like he listens to this show. But
no, he does. Nick, he's talking to you.
Well, yeah. What are you doing? Like,
what are you doing with yourself?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
A little bit of effort, please.
Yeah, I was unimpressed too. He's usually better.
I was expecting him to stop and be like, it's so cold on my teeth. Like, I just don't.
I don't like it. Do you have something less hoppy? Do you have anything less hop forward?
Do you have anything more? Do you have anything more in like the ultra range? You're just looking for something,
something around more like 3% alcohol.
Yeah, maybe something a little less hoppy, a little less malty, a little less
more watery,
more
like just pee.
Yeah, if I could. What I'm looking for is bad iced tea. That's
iced tea. I want the Bill Miller iced tea, but worse.
But worse. I'm looking for like an Arizona green tea that's been skunked in the can.
No, yeah,
like absolutely. I'm looking for that. That's what I'm looking for.
Still like 99 cents.
They did an interview with that cat that was like, "How are you still doing this?" And he was like, "Because
I'm not fucking changing."
Yeah, it was essentially like, because this is what people expect, and we'll just make a little bit less, but.
We're still have a margin.
But yeah, we're still making some. So,
man,
fuck it. You're getting $1 tea. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
You're getting $1 for like a gallon of tea. It's ridiculous.
It's good.
It's good tea.
Good because it's all sugar.
Yeah. I like the Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
The Arnold Palmer Light too. There's it's my jam. It's low sugar, man. It's good though.
Green tea. Just down that. That was high school, man.
Yeah. And that pattern's like legendary. That weird like teal pattern with the cherry blossom on it and stuff. Like everybody knows that art.
Yeah, if there's somebody like I saw somebody with like a dress that was close to that. I was just like, Arizona iced tea pattern. Yeah, like, there she is. She's just wearing it.
Miss Green Tea.
Yeah, Miss Green Tea. You're great. I love your tea.
So speaking of things that come in cans, we have a little segment on this show that we like to call.
My can?
We do. I want to talk about your can because you have a huge can.
Thank you.
that you're now putting on camera.
Yeah, I'm just talking about my
I think we need to talk about it because we have a segment here in the show called Jim's Beer Corner.
Yay! And it's the one part of the show that will actually be true. Everything else is slightly.
And if it's not true, he says it with such authority that you can't call him out on it anyways. So it's
I channel every bit of my white male male confidence in this.
Prepare to see my West Coast.
Exactly. Yeah. So we actually brought a very special beer today. This is it is a ginger rye brown ale that we have made in collaboration with Smittix Brewing Company. And it's just a really, really fun beer. And we're actually releasing it this Saturday at the brewery. So I don't think this will come out before then, but you will be able to drink it at the brewery.
Well, I'm going to put it out tonight just to fuck with him.
Just to fuck with him. Just skip the other one. So it's really, really nice. Here, let me pour you.
Yeah, I would love some. I have actually been lucky enough to have tasted this. No, just put that anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I remember my first beer.
Yeah, I just poured it.
Oh, you want some?
Want one? Come on in. Yeah.
You can't have any. She's not allowed because she gets her tattoo tomorrow, and it's such a long session that her tattoo artist has said she is not allowed to drink anything but water leading up to because they have to make sure that her mind
and body is pure for the pain.
No, it's actually because of the amount of trauma that her arm is going to take tomorrow. Like she has to be like super hydrated or she'll bleed out. Yeah.
Do you have a plan, Caitlin, for your for your tattoo? Like, are you gonna like bring like tons of snacks? You're watching a movie. What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. You gotta charge your headphones. I bought her those like big noise canceling, like over the ear headphones. Yeah.
And just like, so she wouldn't even be able to hear the gun. So
yeah. I imagine the buzzing of the gun would be the worst part.
That's what it always is for me. It's not the pain. It's just the constant, like it's just annoying. But
yeah. I've never had a tattoo. So, all right. So this is a ginger rye brown ale. We're calling it Ginger Slap. Why not? Right? Ginger Slap.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's try it out. It's a really nice beer.
It's really good.
Yeah. So
and what's awesome is that it smells like if you've ever been to a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Okay.
Between like the 1st of November and like the 3rd week of December.
You mean like the 1st of November to all the way to the next November?
Now, yeah.
Exactly.
But before, when it was just that season,
yeah,
and like the door opened and there was like that very specific holiday scent that hit you.
Right.
It smells like that, which is awesome. And not in that horrible like chemical pine cone bullshit way.
Yeah.
Like in that natural
good smell.
Yeah, like the old world spice smell that we're used to.
And that's what we did a lot of.
Like
we did a lot of Christmas spicing with this. Because it's Texas and we forgot that winter is like 4 weeks long. But we are really, really excited about it. I'm like, so we did a rye. So we used rye instead of just barley with this.
Sure.
Rye is a different kind of malt that you can use, and it adds a little bit of like a sharpness to it, a little bit of slickness in the back of your tongue. And then we used a lot of dark malts with it. We used a lot of ginger spice with this, both ground and fresh ginger, to really get this like nice smell of ginger in there. And the original concept was like we wanted to do a gingerbread type of feel to it.
Sure.
And I think we got pretty close. It's a little bit dry, but I think it really makes it more drinkable.
I think it has to be because it comes across almost like a muffin, but not like but not like like a dessert muffin.
Right. I get what
not
you're
like
saying.
a breakfast muffin, but one of those muffins that it's like
you're not drinking a bran muffin.
Right.
Yeah.
But definitely one of those like, it's a muffin. It's good for you. And it's like, there's nothing healthy about this muffin.
It's like when you go to Costco and you get the chocolate muffin. You're like, this isn't even a muffin.
This isn't a muffin. This is a cupcake with no icing.
This is somebody's version of a breakfast cupcake.
And so when I was lucky enough to have it last Saturday, because you kind of did a kind of a spoiler tasting for some of us.
Yeah, for the
Port Ma, which we loved having you guys there, and you absolutely crushed it. So
we loved it. It was a great event. If you missed it, you missed out.
And but you did a little bit of a kind of a sneak peek for it. So it was like, hey, we got a little bit of this something.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And we had very few details. It was just, it's a ginger rye. Like that was all we were told. So it was just
a ginger rye brown. And it was like, trust me, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And it was like, here, just put it in your suck hole. And I was like, oh, well, if you could put that in my suck hole again, that'd be great.
You came up to me like when I was playing and you're like, this beer's really good. And I was like, I know jazz. Yeah.
I try not to make shitty ones.
Yeah, I try to do a good job. Yeah.
But yeah, so and even then I remember drinking, I was like, this is like a muffin, but like like one of those like after dinner.
Yeah, no, I 100%
like dessert muffin, not a cupcake, but like a dessert muffin.
Or like
really,
almost
really
like
good.
a late afternoon like charcuterie muffin,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Or like a what's wild is it's like that kind of muffin that you were like, if I had a really good like dark espresso and like this muffin, it's just like this decadent kind of enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's really fucking good.
I really enjoy it. Color's beautiful. Clarity's wonderful.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, where I don't know if the camera can see it, but you got this beautiful brown hue and then this lovely amber tawny highlights at the bottom. At the bottom there,
it's
and
beautiful.
And we're really happy with it.
I prefer these style of beers. We've talked about it before. I like a little bit more of that kind of the British style. I like something that's not quite as carbonated, not quite as, but definitely a richer, more malty, more
something you can sink your teeth into.
Yeah, I like something to.
I agree with you. And then that also leads us into next couple weeks or next week. The third is the pub ale.
I know it's coming back. We will have it on tap here.
Admiral Stradling's Pub Ale. We'll for the next beer corner. I'll bring that guy in. We'll talk about that guy because we're really, really proud of it, and that has a fun story behind it.
Our bar's already ordered it.
Really? I told Kay to stop by. Just take care of it.
No, I
told can art is beautiful too.
I told our rep. I was like, you just go ahead and need to put it in your notes that like literally as soon as you have inventory, like you just have it delivered.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bunch, but the can art's beautiful. It's named after a real person. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. But this is really, really good. And this is with Smithwick's, not to be confused with Smithwick's, the actual British.
No, not that one.
Yeah.
Smithwick's Brewing Company. It's in Dallas. And he's opening up his brewery very, very soon. So he's doing a bunch of collabs around Texas with different breweries that he really likes. They kind of help get his name out there, help with funding, that kind of thing too.
That's awesome.
So we were stoked to have him. He's a very, very wonderful person, and it was just a wonderful experience to brew with him.
Outstanding.
Good guy.
Good to hear.
Yep. Good guy. It's always nice to have those kind of relationships in the brewing world.
And then this is on or will be on.
It will be on Saturday at the brew pub.
At the brew pub. Yeah.
Yes.
That's at Second Pitch's brew pub. So
Second Pitch Beer Company.
Don't come here and ask for it. We don't have it.
Yeah. It's only available in the brew pub. But
worth the trip.
Worth the trip.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good beers over there right now.
Yeah, you do. It's a lineup right now.
Yeah. Oh, our March is going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We have the Duke of Bohemia, the Czech Pilsner coming out. At that time, we're going to have a Women of Second Pitch beer because we employ more women than men.
You are, it is a very female heavy staff over there.
Yeah, which was not a choice. It just happened. And I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah. And not like the restaurant way. They don't just have like a bunch of like.
Yeah. No, like, everybody's.
We just hired a bunch of skin. We're talking about like literally
best in their field. Yeah.
And leadership. Like people that are running, like helping run the show over there are females.
Yeah. And that's great. And then we also have a little bit pull back of the curtain. We got contacted by a small hop farm in New Zealand. And they might be sending us fresh, wet hops from New Zealand to make a beer with. So that is going to be fucking insane.
Is that you can grow hops in New Zealand?
New Zealand is like one of the main hop growers in the Southern Hemisphere.
Really?
Yeah, it's New Zealand, South Africa, and a little bit of Australia. But New Zealand is like, like their version.
I always think that New Zealand's like too far south. Because don't you need like that?
Yeah, that parallel.
Yeah,
it's right there. Both sides of the world. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Both sides.
There you go.
Top and bottom.
This is why we do Jim's Beer Corner. Because
so we're going to do a bunch of like really, really nice hops, and it's going to be a fun event, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be just, for a beer nerd like me, it is like something that you like dream about doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So outstanding.
We're really excited.
So, well, there you have it. Beer. And this is kind of how wild you can get with it when you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it doesn't have to be super sweet or cloyingly. What is the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, just too sweet. Very much too sweet. It's not.
No, this still has a bitterness to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just
like adjunct beers can get super sweet and just over the top.
So to follow up on before, so this is a brown ale.
Brown ale.
So this would have been done with.
I'm gonna let you talk.
Right, hold on. I'm trying to figure out. We did the whole. This is why we can't drink and teach me things because it doesn't stick.
No, you have to get drunk and then you remember it.
Because there's two types of yeast that get used.
Yes, ales and lagers. But this would fall underneath the ale side. Correct. Okay. There you are.
See?
American brown ale. Yep.
So
American brown ale is the base, and then we used a little bit of rye and a bunch of ginger.
I like it.
It's beautiful.
I like it.
All right. So enough beer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, I don't know if it's enough beer, but it's enough talking about
Enough talking about.
So
lead the show, Jess. What do you got?
Shit. Okay, so a couple of episodes ago, we did the first annual. I'm going to change the name again. Ready? The first annual Warhammered Primarch and Legion draft of 2023.
Such a good episode. Did
yeah,
you get
it was a lot of fun.
Did we get any like feedback?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay.
It's been a busy couple weeks. So,
yeah, fuck. That.
But we talked specifically about Primarchs and their legions.
Right.
And the draft happened pre-heresy. That's how we were drafting.
Yeah.
Pre-heresy.
Yeah, pre-heresy. Everybody's still good guys.
So, well, everybody's on the same team.
Everybody's on the same team. Yes.
we'll go with that.
Yeah, there's neither good nor bad. They're on your team.
Yep. But we have also discussed the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
At a wave top level, since Jim's not here, we're going to throw that out.
Yeah, we're just a wave top level.
And we talked about we got you, Jim.
Yeah,
but we
what
talked
else
about.
are we gonna say? Russ is right.
Yeah, we'll get it all covered. But we talked about the heresy happens. It splits them in half.
Mhm.
We lose some
99.
Primarchs. And now the current timeline is in the 41st millennium, where the heresy happened, the 30th millennium. So 10,000 years worth of difference. Now, one of the reasons that the heresy itself was so fucking bad was how strong the legions were.
Mm-hmm.
So you had one dude who had trained tens of thousands of motherfuckers.
Yeah. 100,000, like 100,000,
Yeah,
20,000. Yeah.
I mean, just tons of dudes.
Yeah.
All superhumans to go do this crazy thing. And that's how they were able to accomplish so much. And we'll get more into just how bad it was. But we're talking about like drive-by planet killings, not like.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
we're not.
Fuck that place.
Yeah, it was like, nah, and it's just gone. Like it's just like so. Like think of all the sci-fi you've ever watched, and think about some of the most powerful weapons you've ever seen in sci-fi that you've ever watched, and those all look like Red Ryder, Daisy, like Daisy Red Ryder BB guns compared to the ridiculousness that the legions could bring to bear.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're drop shipping like tens of thousands of superhumans onto a world that is just
or you
like
just don't. You fly by and you radio contact them and you're like, oh, you don't want to play ball? So you put a weapon into it that cracks the crust of the planet and let it burn to death. Like
exactly.
And that wasn't like they had one space station that did that. It was like all of the boats, all of the ships could do it.
That was a normal armament.
It was just a thing.
It was just a thing they had. Yeah.
So
like their normal, I think their normal like bombs and stuff were like nuclear. Like that was just like the nuclear bombs were just like, oh yeah, go.
Yeah, well, they had like handheld versions and shit too. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, like it's fine. It's totally fine. So, and we're talking about complete devastation. Nothing left, kind of. It's all over. Has a cool word too. It's called exterminatus.
Everything's Latin. So cool.
It's Latin-esque.
Latin-esque. It's not real Latin.
Because it's Gothic.
I guarantee. I'm just going to go out on a limb. You studied Latin, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I knew you did. I
did in ninth grade.
You learned son of a bitch.
It helped me with all the other languages.
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
root terms, yeah.
But yeah, I just knew for a fact.
I did study Latin.
Yeah.
Which is
when
actually.
You looked at me when Latin scholars.
Right, I did study Latin.
This guy.
So it's actually, a lot of it's kind of cool and some of the stuff that you learn from it and stuff like that. So, like, OR and RIX are the male female like things. So you can have a gladiator, right?
Yeah.
So TOR.
Yeah.
And you can have a gladiatrix, which is a female
gladiator.
All right. So mediator, mediatrix,
dominatrix.
Dominatrix and dominator, like that's where all that comes from, right? That's why there's the two different versions.
Right.
But we held on to it going forward. Like that was one of the Latin bases that held on in language going forward. So that's why you still see things like dominator and mediator and all this kind of stuff. And we held on to like the male format of that, which goes to show that you can actually have like the male version of all this stuff and that tricks are for kids.
What? God damn it. Did you just dad joke me right now?
Yes.
God fucking damn it. I'm moving back. Space Marines.
Yeah. You should have been there when I got him in his own bar with the back-to-back jokes.
The back-to-back dad jokes. I just like walked away. I was behind the bar too, and I was like, I have no one else to talk to.
Yeah. So anyways, but yes, I did study Latin. That was your fault. You brought it up.
I know I did, and it was just this long thing. I thought I was learning something, and then it was just
side note of education.
Side note.
You obviously haven't been paying attention to the show.
I haven't been at all. Yeah,
we're an educational podcast.
Jesus Christ.
So
the last thing I've ever wanted someone to say is like, "You taught me something, Jim." It's like, no, I did not.
No, I didn't.
Do not put that black magic on me. Do not put that evil on me. I
hold no responsibility
for what you
do. For
do.
anything I have said.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, these legions were super fucking powerful. So you have this huge civil war. It devastates everything, breaks everything, even breaks the dude that made these legions. Like, it literally breaks.
Everybody broke
everything, right? So humans, in our way of fixing things, was like, I know how we can never let this happen again.
Mm-hmm. Well, one human in particular.
One kind of
human,
pseudo-human.
Yeah, Rebrute Gilliman, the
Rowboat
breaker
girly
of,
man,
the breaker of legions, as
the breaker of legions,
as he was known after this.
Imperialis Secundus and all sorts of other solutions that he had. We'll get into that whole topic.
Yeah, he's just thinking of ways
the original traitor.
Yeah.
We're
going.
Oh, yeah, I'll say it. I don't give a shit.
I said it. I had 2 feet on the ground. I stared you in the eye and I said it.
I said it with my chest. Original traitor. And your number 1 draft pick, sir.
Yeah, I did. He was number 1.
So they came up with the solution of, the legions are too powerful, and that's why this happened. So what we're going to do is we're going to break them up, and we're going to make it to where it can't be more than what would have been a company-sized element,
which is 1,000.
Which is 1,000 Space Marines. It can't be more than a company-sized element, and now we're just going to call those chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So they took legions and they broke them into.
Yeah. Roberto Gilliman's known for 2 things: 1, breaking the legions apart, and then 2, writing the Codex Astartes.
Yeah,
which has happened at the same time.
Yes. So after that, he then wrote kind of the Boy Scout handbook
of how to be a legion, how to be a chapter,
of how to be a chapter / Space Marine, and it was like, I will always keep my underwear clean, and I promise to uphold the imperial truth, and
like blah blah blah
blah blah blah blah.
But it also goes to the point being like, if you're in a wooded area and somebody comes from your left, this is what you do.
Yeah, I mean, it was what literally like. Yeah. Everything was controlled by
mid-morning. This is the better option than mid-afternoon.
Yeah, he literally wrote a book that was supposed to handle every tactical situation that could possibly arise for a Space Marine, which is just
insane,
bonkers. Like, it just
the hubris needed to do that.
Yeah,
is just
and then catch a dirt nap for fucking 10,000 years right after you do it.
Right
too.
after.
So
just press print on the printer and then walk away.
And then I'm gonna go, that was exhausting. I need a nap.
I'm gone.
So anyways, he broke them all up into these chapters. So this is welcome to another episode of Good Idea, Bad Idea. So it's
I'm like, on the servers, it seems like a good idea. Now you don't have a centralization of power.
So I guess the first thing we have to discuss is, what is a chapter?
Yeah.
So they were known as successor chapters. Mm-hmm. So what you had is you had the 20 legions, 18 legions that we know about.
Yes. And those were broken down into
chapters. Now, keep in mind
depending on the strength of the chapter, it was at the end of the
at the time was how many chapters they got, and then they cross-leveled some of it.
Yeah,
they pulled from other places and blah 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 to cross-level things out.
Yep.
Now, the only thing that was broken into chapters are the legions that quote unquote were loyal at the end of the big civil war. These were the only ones that got it. The rest of them. It was kind of weird because the traitor legions didn't get like purged.
They got chased.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But then they made that big proclamation of like,
nailed it.
You are no longer allowed to wear your legion's colors. The honor of Astartes is taken from you. And now you must like, so, and that's how you got the Black Legion. Because essentially all of the legions that essentially got their legion colors and their symbols and everything stripped from them.
Yeah.
All of their armor they were like, you can no longer wear the colors and whatever. So they painted everything black.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. And they just like fucked off and went and did their own thing. And we'll get into all that with who the Black Legion is and who their leaders are and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And why
That's the whole thing.
Why there is the Black Legion. And then there are also some of the remaining legions that are now the Chaos Legions.
And there's some that are not legions anymore.
There's some that aren't legions and stuff like that. So, but successor chapters were only given to those that were loyal and essentially survived. So
some people had a lot of successor chapters. For example, the Ultramarines. Ultramarines came in at the end of the Horus Heresy, when Roboute Guilliman comes in, he basically doesn't even get into any of the fight because everything happens as soon as he rolls in on his, magnificent spaceship.
Well, he was busy planning.
Yeah, he was busy planning for everything.
Yeah.
And then so his Legion got broken up into 20 or 30 different successor chapters.
Right. And so, including one that they very slyly called the Ultramarines.
Yeah. You get one legion holds on to the original
one chapter gets to hold the Legion name.
Yeah. Where everybody else just gets told to go fuck themselves.
And then everybody else gets these other ones. So you end up with there's a chapter that's just called the Imperial Fists, and then you have all of these other versions of it. Now, here's the problem with it. You have programmed, genetically engineered super soldiers who, and I don't care, Traitor Legion or Loyal Legion, does not fucking matter. Their first loyalty is to their Primarch and their Legion.
That's it.
All of them. And it doesn't matter, how the Boy Scouts of the Ultramarines to the Plainsmen of the White Scars, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they called their Primarch their father. So it was my daddy and his flag, that's what I care about.
Yeah, that's it. You may call me something else, but
and then
heart of hearts.
And then it was but my daddy and his flag cares about the Imperium, so I care about the Imperium too.
I love how he just turns into a Missouri redneck.
Well, it is because every Legion has that South will rise again thing going on in their fucking head. It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
It's a little
okay,
it's all well, Uncle Daddy said the sister wife really likes this. It's
don't talk to the Adeptus Sororitas like
that. So, but what's really interesting about it is you have these chapters that are this is how we're going to solve it. Now, no one Legion is this strong.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody can do this again.
If one Legion or one chapter decides to turn traitor, there's 100 other ones that are going to be no.
They're essentially compartmentalizing it, right? So it's if we have 100 files instead of 10 files and one file gets corrupted, we have a better chance of walling that off faster.
Yeah. I'm it would take a huge amount of emailing to get a lot of these chapters together for a traitor, thing.
Yeah.
I'm this is just a lot of sends.
But the wild thing is that so Bobby G makes this call. So Roboute Guilliman, Bobby G makes this call. Hey, we're gonna have chapters now. So you need to break this up. You guys can decide. You're all big boys. You can decide how this is gonna get broken up. But here's the book on how you're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, but when you are,
here's the instructions. Yeah, so you gotta go do it. We're not gonna do that. We're you're big boys. You gotta go take yourselves apart.
Yeah.
So they were all okay. And they all painted their shit different colors.
Yeah. Except for one did not.
Except for one was
no. No. Yeah. My good old Space Wolves were just
the wolves were
no,
bro, we barely listened to the Emperor.
Who the fuck are you, bro?
And Bobby G was you really need to do this. And Russ was make me.
Yeah.
And he was
I'm going back to my planet.
Okay, well, don't leave your ice ball. He was it's all we wanted in the first place.
Yeah, fine, done.
Yeah,
I love my ice ball. My favorite ice ball.
So the Space Wolves just fuck off back. They're just okay, and they just go back and fucking get hammered and hunt and do their thing, right?
Once in a while, come out to prove that they're still there and get back.
I think they just get bored every once in a while. And they're there got to be something. So anyways, so they break all these chapters up. So, but there's examples in the lore, and this is not me, this isn't a Reddit thing or I've read it on a wiki. It's in the books. There's a whole series of books called The Beast Rising. Yeah. Which is 3,000-ish years after the Horus Heresy. Yeah. It's M33.
Yeah.
So, but because of long life and all this kind of stuff, there's still a lot of people around that
were there
that remember the Horus Heresy, including non-Space Marines that are just hey, look, we saw this shit. It was rough. So now The Beast Arises, I'm a big fan of because I'm a big orc fan. Love me some greenskins.
Yeah.
Audiobooks are very, very good. The books in general are good, but the audiobooks are very, very solid.
Okay, I need to get those.
See me after the show.
Okay. See me after class. You have homework.
So, but in that, the orcs start warping moons, battle moons, combat moons, just next to planets.
Yeah.
So like they just think real hard about it because that's how orc everything works. They just think real hard about it, and then they take a moon and they go boop, and they just like pop it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that they take these moons and they turn them into like giant cannons.
Yeah,
like
or
that.
like ginormous spaceships like that. Just like, hey, there's all of a sudden a planet worth of orcs just
next door.
Next door.
And we're talking like get so close it like sucks the water off the surface of the planet, kind of like just bloop, it just kind of appears and just annihilates planets. Well, they do it to Earth. All of a sudden, Earth just has a second moon. It's just bloop, orcs.
Yeah,
and it's got a big face on it that moves at the same time that the orc that's in charge is talking. The giant face on the side of the moon talks with him.
That's bizarre. Okay, I didn't know about that.
Oh, it's bonkers. You got to read the book. It's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
but. Dorn and the Imperial Fists are the bulwark for Terra. They are the wall.
Yes.
Right? Well, when they broke the chapters up, all of them got together and they're like, okay, look, here's the deal.
All right. Yeah. This is like them backdooring it. Like just
we're gonna do this chapter thing.
Right.
Because
I'm with you. All right.
We're gonna play ball. Yeah. Right?
So like you're an Imperial Fist, I'm a Black Templar. We're talking right now.
Sure.
Okay.
We're gonna do this thing.
Great, cool.
Right?
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Shit, be a Crimson Fist. You're
That's
fine.
I'm Crimson Fist, yeah.
Just we're all hands.
We're in.
We're in, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm first company. Or first chapter. So I get to keep the yellow.
Cool.
But you're gonna go be
blue and red.
Blue and red.
Cool.
All right. But here's the deal. Our number one job is to protect Terra. So if some shit happens, we're gonna have this thing called the Last Wall.
Okay.
And we're just gonna bring the Legion back together.
Everybody just get out a can of spray paint.
And so
just figure it out. We can do it on the way. It's yellow. It's one color. It's
these
fine.
orcs pop in and go bloop. That's the official sound of orcs appearing in your neighborhood too, by the way. 100%. So
it's in the audiobooks.
Yeah. And they just hit the button that's like Last Wall, bitches. And like a whole chapter gets annihilated.
Yeah.
Like the whole original chapter of the Imperial Fist, except for like one dude, gets annihilated. But they push the button.
Is there actually a button?
In the books, I'll get when you read the books, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, it is just like a button.
It's like a flip red.
Yeah. No, like essentially they send this thing out that just says like Last Wall Protocol, and it goes out to all of the other Imperial Fist chapters, and so all those chapters just show the fuck back up and are like,
it's like, what? Hey, remember when I was like 7th Company? Can I be that again?
So they were like, and so they just all show up and just form the Legion again. Yeah. So my point with that is like, okay, great, you broke the legions apart, but all of them did it.
Like, and it's happened several times
where all the legions just got back
the Devastation Ball, all the Blood Angels,
they just got back together.
Just got back together. Yeah. Just like got the band back together.
Yeah.
Just like did a reunion tour.
This is one of those prime examples. If you've ever worked for like a corporate company and some like VP that's like really vying for that senior VP thing is like,
I got a good
idea. Do I have a system that is going to improve efficiency and safety in the company?
Yeah.
Let's complicate the shit out of this.
And then you have a bunch of like factory workers going like,
and it's going to show you all the ways that we're improving safety.
Yeah.
And everybody that actually does the shit is like, you just made this 10 times harder to do everything, right? Yeah. Like, I get what you're trying to dodge. Yeah. The problem is the shit you actually want us to do.
Yeah.
You made it damn near impossible.
Or it takes twice as long to do.
Yeah, which you see over and over and over again because the amount of chapters that just get wiped out.
Yeah.
Because their strength is so low. And that was kind of the thing is like, yes, like a Space Marine is supposed to be able to take on whatever. It's like 100 people to one Space Marine or some shit like that, right?
That's the ratio. Yeah.
So cool. But the problem is when they're taking on a planet, you need a Legion.
Yeah.
Because that's like, okay, you got 10,000 Space Marines. Well, there's 4 million people on this planet. It's like, do
the math.
Yeah. Like, and then you just, it broke all the technology apart. Like nothing.
But like from a, away from the lore to a business standpoint, it makes a ton of sense. Because then you can make your own, like you as a consumer of the product can make their own personal Legion now.
Yes. So one of the things now with the whole successor chapter thing and why they broke it apart is that you can go like, oh no, this is the goobers.
Yeah.
And they're my chapter.
And they're extra goobery.
They're just super goober.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my captain is called the Goofy Goober. And
Chaplain Goober.
Chaplain Goober. And now I want to make this chapter.
The Goobers. God, they would be like bright pink or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to be a...
But it was like, but also it gave a lot of, like in the lore, it gave a lot of flair to these different chapters.
Yeah, so you end up with, and there's some bonkers stuff, right? There's like the space sharks.
Oh, the Carcharodons. I love the Carcharodons so much.
There's like the
I love them. They're my favorite. They're just so weird.
The fucking space sharks, and they literally have fins on their helmets and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
there's the black dragons who like have knives coming out of their hands.
There's actually one that I really like that is actually an Ultramarine successor chapter, and they're called the Tome Keepers.
Oh,
and they literally, their whole job is like, they're Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
But their whole job is they like go from planet to planet and they like recover information that's been lost.
Okay.
And they're like the ultimate like combat librarians.
That's hilarious. Like, no, we're not fighting. I'm gonna read first.
No, they do though. But that's the thing. It's like, do they have information we need?
Yeah.
They won't give it to us.
We're gonna go take it.
Okay, but if we kill everybody, then we can just take it, right?
Yeah, so like, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's like, because if we kill everybody, now this isn't theft. This is an archaeological find.
It's like a license to kill library card.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Like, it's like, no. We're archaeologists. It's like, why?
All right, calm down, Indiana Jones.
Because the civilization's dead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
why are they? Wait. Why are they dead?
They weren't dead this morning.
Yeah, we fucking killed them. We know they're dead.
Now it's an archaeological thing.
It's not tomb raiding if you make it happen.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love them.
Yeah,
they're my new favorites.
They're great.
Yeah, fuck the Carcharodons. I'm doing
the Tome Keepers.
Yeah,
they're
there's
great,
like the mortifactors, which are like all about like being around death and things. Like they just have like skulls everywhere.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. And then you saw other stuff. Like at some point, like the Space Marines got really bored and were like, we need to fight some Xenos.
Yeah.
Let's form this
sub-chapter.
The Special Forces of Space Marines, where you're going to send us the best of your best, and they're going to come hang out with us for 3 years and just go do some weird shit.
Fight aliens that they can never talk about again.
And then we're going to send them back to you, and they're going to come back fucked up.
Yeah, they're basically going to have Space Marine PTSD, and that's now your problem.
Which isn't supposed to be a thing. So... But that's what we're going to do.
That's what we did. We made.
And they're literally called the Death Watch because they're just like, we'll probably die. It's like,
we're going to go against some things we should not.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. And I get it from a company standpoint of why chapters are a better idea than legions, right?
Right.
Because the legions, especially when half of them are fucking gone, all of a sudden it's like, so everybody's going to be playing the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Or we can have 500 chapters.
Yeah. And you can just make up your own.
And then you can make your own.
Yeah.
Some of the paint jobs on those, the official paint jobs on some of the
are impossible.
Well, or the ones that are like in quarters.
Yes.
And they're like yellow and purple, like split, and it looks like a Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah. The Howling Griffins are
Griffins.
And yellow. Yeah. Quartered. And I'm just like, but you also like see these things and you just like look as a hobbyist. You're like, how do I paint that?
You don't.
Yeah.
That's why you never see them on the table.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to paint that.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
It's kind of interesting. But anyways, so that's what a successor chapter is. And then you have first founding and second foundings. Mm-hmm. First foundings are from the original breaking of the legions.
Right.
And then second foundings are essentially successor chapters of successor chapters. Like they're kind of weird.
No, second foundings are the first ones. First foundings are the original Legion chapters. Second foundings are the guys that came originally from the Legion that were originally broken. That's second founding. And then third founding
is the new
new
right.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's some really good second foundings. Like you have Crimson Fists, which were one of like the hallmark at the beginning of Warhammer 40K. Crimson Fists were on every box and everything. They're orc fighters. That's like what they're known for. You know, you have Black Templars, which are, you know, basically like the Knights Templar in space.
They are the religious zealots of the Imperium.
And they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
But they're also psycho.
Yeah. And they also get around the whole 1,000-person rule because there's a little caveat. There's a little fine print in the Codex Astartes.
Because they're not technically a chapter.
Because they're not a chapter. We are a crusading force.
Yeah.
we are crusading, and there's no limit on how many people can crusade.
Yeah.
So they just are like, no, we have no idea how many people we have.
Well, and then you have there's some other stuff, and we'll get into them and stuff like that. We'll touch them now, but there's like the Grey Knights, technically Space Marines,
technically not
a chapter. Like it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's a weird
kind
one.
of in there.
But then you also have because you also realize it's 10,000 years, so there will be chapters that are regularly talked about, and they'll be like, we have no idea where we came from.
No, because it's been lost.
It's been lost. Like the Carcharodons are a great one, which is they're a very, very fun, cool that their lore is starting to get fleshed out. But they are like, we have zero idea who we came from.
Well, because in the lore, there's some legions that got lost for a while because of warp storms, and so they like kind of just fell out of the fight,
or they got pushed away,
or there was companies from legions. They got lost for like several thousands of years and then came back, and their legion was just fucking gone,
or just exiled,
or they'd been exiled, but then they look at it and be like, "Oh, you had nothing to do with this," and they're like, "We've been lost." And
I don't know what the hell happened.
What do you mean there was a civil war? Like we weren't. Like,
we were out to lunch.
We were on a break.
We were on a break. Did we just do a Friends reference?
I did.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We did all the cultural milestones.
So, so it's kind of interesting. And then you have like third founding stuff, which is they came far later, and now they've introduced the Primaris Marines a couple years ago, which has to do with this thing called Rubicon Primaris, which is they figured out how to make a bigger, better, faster, stronger Space Marine.
It's like it's the
and now we're getting new foundings, and these are the new Space Marines. So you have like first batch Space Marines, and then you have second batch, what they're calling second born, and firstborn Space Marines and stuff like that. So there's some new chapters that are coming forward because of that. And then they're assigning some of them to old chapters to backfill companies and this kind of stuff.
They're also making some fun, and you can totally tell if you're reading about it. Like there's going to be Primaris chapters that are going to be very much talked about, that are getting books written about them like right now.
Yes, absolutely, with like, the new stuff.
The Wolf Spear is one of them,
and they're 100% Primaris Marines. Like these are all never fought in. They're not part of the original Gene Seed. They're not part of. These are all new, all new, all singing, all dancing.
Yeah, and speaking of the new boarding action, I was reading about one last night that is a Primaris only, that only specializes in void battles. That's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they just do their fleet base, and they go and they.
Is that in the Abaddon book?
It's on the Abaddon book, but it's like part of the official lore.
Really?
Yeah. So they all they do is void battles. So they just do boarding actions. They take over ships, and that's what they do. It's like they're Space Marine pirates.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Or privateers. I guess there would be privateers because
they're because they would have a they have a little scroll.
Little scroll.
They roll it out.
Yeah.
Like,
I hereby am allowed.
Before I annihilate you, hell yeah,
I am allowed.
By imperial decree, I am here to touch your butthole with this chainsword.
And you can't do anything of it. And you have a flag.
You can't. There's no court that will fucking hold me accountable.
Flag? Well, I have a flag. It's mine now.
Yeah,
I took it.
I put a flag on it. It's mine.
Yeah. So anyway,
this is now an archaeological find.
It's my home. Now it's archaeological.
No, we're salvage claiming this ship. It's my ship.
Yeah.
Bang. Salvage.
Salvage it. I really love that Tomekeeper thing. I know it's an archaeological dig. By about 10:30 this morning, it was archaeological.
It's now an archaeological dig. Yeah. It's fucking great.
So yeah, successor chapters, a lot of fun. Like there's the Flesh Terrors. They just have a new book out that I'm reading right now. Flesh Terrors are a Blood Angels successor chapter, and they're basically just Imperial berserkers.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That is all they are.
And a lot of that, and I'm sure as this goes on, we'll probably start touching on individual chapters, legions, and stuff like that, and what their kind of signatures are, like why they are what they are, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it actually comes back to the gene code on the Primarch, and it's kind of manipulating behavior, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I think it's
fun. It makes it fun.
But the reason that we wanted to talk about successor chapters today is we're getting some comments. I've had people that I know personally that have sent me stuff about the show that are like, you're actually getting me interested in the lore.
Yeah.
And da-da-da-da-da.
Like, how do I play it now? And this is it.
And, or what the gameplay is and stuff like that. The reason chapters are kind of cool is one, there is official lore for a lot of the chapters.
Yes.
But there's also official rules for making your own chapter.
Yep.
Which means that the 40K universe is arguably big enough that you get to be part of the lore. And there's not a lot of things out there that give you that kind of leeway. Because you can literally, by making your own chapter, you can declare, I am a successor chapter of this legion, and this is my chapter, and this is what we're about. This is why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. This is how we fight. Like, this is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you can form that stuff. And there's the rules for being able to do that and literally take it to tournament play.
Yeah.
This isn't just casual. You can literally go to like official GW sanctioned events and play with your homemade chapter.
Yeah. Or also, like, for example, one of the new successor chapters of the Space Wolves is something called the Wolf Spear. Mm-hmm. Wolf Spear was completely made up, was fan made up. It started out as just like, hey, this is what some guy was like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. He made a beautiful coat of arms, did all that kind of stuff. And the writer, one of the writers, Aaron Dembski Bowden, I think it was.
Sounds right.
It was, name check me if I'm wrong, was just like, hey, that's pretty cool. And wrote a book about him. And now they're like officially in lore now.
So that goes to show you that like this game, regardless of the problems that GW might present periodically and it is still so fan driven.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially in the lore. So, and that's what's kind of cool about it. And I think that's why a lot of us get attracted to it, is all of the systems really do allow for you to build yourself into the game. You are not stuck with, hey, the book says this. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I'm big into Necromunda right now and playing that.
Yeah.
There's literally rules for it. Yes, there's a bunch of pre-made gangs that you can go get and you can paint them up and you're good to go. But you can literally also just be like, nope, here's the gang. And like, and there's rules in a book that literally just let you make all of your own shit and why your gang does what it does and why it.
If you're making a successor chapter, GW actually gives you a template.
Yep.
To do it. Like there's like a little there, they have like the Space Marine and like the helmet, and you'd be like, what are your colors? Like draw your colors, like figure
and you walk through it.
And they walk you through like, hey, if you want to make a successor chapter, this is how you do it.
And because of that, you can choose like what legion you want to come out of, and then you can take the legion principles, like their fighting principles, and then morph those to fit your chapter, and you can borrow from other places and stuff like that. And it could be as simple as like, well, I really want to be a Blood Angel successor chapter, but my chapter went on this 100-year mission with the Space Wolves for this thing. And they learned a lot about the Space Wolf hand-to-hand combat techniques.
And so they bring it back.
And so now they're Blood Angels that really like using these techniques. And
now we are Nordic vampires.
And so now you
now
Nordic vampires.
I am a Nordic vampire.
Yeah.
And that sounds pretty fucking cool.
Which would be a dope legion.
Which would be a great legion, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, like
when are we making that?
Primaris Twilight. I'm here for it.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Yes, with the big wolf.
Just sparkly Space Marines.
Oh just like, no, it's not done yet. Glitter. Sprinkle some glitter on this bitch.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's what our new chapter is going to be.
I actually have enough unpainted Space Marines that we could do this.
Yeah, we could make them the disco balls.
It'd be awesome.
This is just the disco. That's how I love it.
Chapter Twilightus, because that's all you have to do to make it.
No, what is Latin? What is Twilight in Latin? You big fucking nerd.
I don't know. I don't know. Of course, it's also been
40 years.
It's been a minute since I've studied Latin.
60 years.
I'm not that old.
85 years. You learned.
I remember when they were still speaking it.
Augustus Caesar taught me.
Crepusculum.
There it is. Astartes Crescolum. Sounds fucking cool.
Right? They'd be like, what does it feel like? It's the Twilight chapter.
And you pull them out and they're just covered in sparkles. And
what were the two? Edward and what were the two teams?
Team Edward, Team Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it.
So we could have Captain Eduardus and Captain Jacobus, and they're just
one's riding a wolf and one's just. I love everything about this. What? Night Lord.
No,
Space
Blood Angel Space Wolves. Yeah.
I like that. I like it. I like everything about this.
See, we've got a whole backstory.
We got it. They were fighting over a girl.
Yep.
When they were like mortals, and then they were both taken by the Legion. There's always been that slight animosity between them.
There's a respect, but
there's a respect.
There's a tension.
There's a tension. You always feel a palpable tension. One refuses to wear a shirt. just way
one of them slightly younger than the other one
to a weird degree.
And it's just like he just can't keep his top on for some reason.
Yeah, oh my god, we should do this.
I love it.
What other stupid Successor chapters? Like that's gonna be
I don't know, but we're not
somebody in the comments, like let's see in your comments the stupidest Successor chapter
so
you can think of.
On at least on Spotify,
mm-hmm.
there's a question that you can put at the bottom that says, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah.
So in there, give me like a 2 or 3 sentence description of what you think a Space Marine chapter would be. But I'm really thinking that we should write up and
I would 100%.
I
was a creative writing major in college.
The Twilight chapter.
Yeah, I took English at the illustrious San Diego State University.
Yeah, we got to be careful though, because the last person that fucked around with Twilight fan fiction like this wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then she got a bunch of money for it.
She did. Hey, look, if I'm gonna get paid like that for writing Space Marine porn,
I am 100%.
I'm okay.
I'm 100%.
I'm here with it.
Yeah,
I'm here with it.
Yeah, we'll do that when we have our when we just take off in the middle of the night, like we were talking about yesterday.
It's just gone.
We were just gone together.
It's just gone.
Dear Caitlin, and
it would be a hilarious chapter though. And I'm not gonna lie, play wise, because of where you get to borrow the techniques from the 2 chapters.
Yeah,
it would be just absolutely brutal.
No, yeah, it would be great. And then I would want them to be like a little bit separated out. Like, oh no, these are the wolf guys. No, these are the vampire guys.
Yeah. What's great about it is that the Blood Angels are red.
Yeah.
And the other ones are baby blue.
Right.
So we could have like a pale purple chapter.
Yes. It's a moon with like a wolf and like just like a drip of blood going down.
100%.
This is.
See, we're already there.
I need to start taking notes. Hold on a second.
This is going to be amazing.
We just did this. This is something that.
Oh my god! And the vehicles we just opened up for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so good.
We could easily do 2,000 points of the Twilight chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. We need someone who can paint really, really well.
Oh, I wish we knew somebody that could paint really, really well.
Caitlin, our illustrious producer.
I got her new airbrush too, so she's been going to town.
Nice.
Yeah, getting work done.
God, we're gonna do this. It's
gonna
be
the greatest.
Good. This is gonna be the greatest chapter known to man.
So good. Watch it start winning, and people would be like, "The fuck is this?"
It's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's a dark purple.
It's a.
Do you ever read Twilight? No? Good.
Good. Then you won't know what's coming.
You don't know what our secret is. All right.
It's angst in a face that makes you look like you just smelled something.
This is so dumb.
It's so dumb.
But anyway, yeah, so you get to do fun things like that with your Successor chapters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what's cool about like that. Took us what, 5 minutes to come up with that
5 minutes of drinking.
Horrible chapter.
To figure out a horrible chapter.
Yeah.
That would probably win on the tabletop.
Honestly, because you're kind of picking 2 just incredibly effective. Yeah.
Yeah, it would just 100% win on the tabletop, and it would be funny. And
you know what's really dangerous is that I have access to everything that GW makes.
Yeah. You know what would be the best part is when you play with it on the tabletop, everybody else's Legion or chapter just gets covered in glitter. Glitter does not come off. It's just going to be like, why are my salamanders?
No, what we have to do
glitter?
is you can't do it to the armor.
It has to be the face only.
To be just the faces and
they look like little disco balls. little disco balls on armor.
It's just the faces.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or we get that nail cover that makes your nails look sparkly or whatever, but it doesn't flake off, and just do their pauldrons.
It's just fabulous.
just Liberace as shit.
just one. And then we have to get like the because there's that one vehicle from the Adeptus Sororitas that is actually like the
pipe organ?
The pipe organ that actually shoots missiles.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want to get into stupid.
Yeah, it'll be great. We'll just start kit bashing stuff.
Oh my god, we could do it.
Could you imagine like a Blood Angels like a
Dun, 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 dun.
like a Blood Angels
like rhino.
Rhino, but with the organ on the back of it, and it's
just you put that on the table. Be like, what is that? It's like, don't you worry.
You'll find out.
It's called the Liberatius. Liberatius Maximus.
Yeah, the Liberatus.
The Liberatus. It's for liberty? Nope.
How familiar are you with the Italians?
Wrong liber.
Oh my god. All right, so we're gonna get out of here so we can go work on this stupid chapter because now my brain's running a mile a minute and you don't want to hear all about it.
Figure it out now.
Second Pitch Beer Company.
Thank you.
On all the social medias.
Second Pitch Beer Company.
It is company. We confirmed. It is.
I don't know. That's what I was told.
Whatever. Google search Second Pitch Beer Company. Look everywhere else.
Yep.
BattlePub games. Go find out everything over there. And yeah, can't thank you enough for listening.
This is was a special episode minus Big Jim. I don't know if it was better or worse. Probably worse.
Probably worse.
Because
we didn't have somebody to actually call us idiots, so we were. Yeah, we just got to.
He's not shaking his head.
We just got to run with it.
Hold on, just like shaking.
Yeah.
But he's a bitch.
But he's a bitch.
Just pulled it.
So keep it up. We highly encourage the games, drinks, and hijinks because that's all we're fucking good at around here. And other than that, stay tuned for the next episode. I would tell you what it's about, but we don't fucking know.
Yeah, we figured this out literally 5 minutes before the mics came on.
That's what makes it good.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
Better than everybody else.
Yeah. So get out there, roll some dice, drink beer. Oh, and Russ was right since he's not here.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Fucking, yeah.
All right.